Like to return to the games, right? So this show suggests that to so many people, the real world is just a larger prison. So I think this is a serious critique of the capitalist society we are facing now, and make us think about so many people who are stuck in the sharp increase of household debt, the widening income inequality, and many other, economic and social issues.
Squid Game features a vast ensemble
유턴하세요.
of characters.
그런 다음 주차장 방면으로 우회전하세요.
The protagonist is a divorced dad living with his mother. There's an immigrant worker from Pakistan, a ruined day trader who turns to white-collar crime, a North Korean defector trying to get her parents over the border, on and on. What do you think the show is trying to say through these different windows into desperation and poverty?
The characters are, I think, another important factor for the show's global popularity. In this game, the viewers have to continue to ask what makes survivors different from people who die. This show does not have any powerful figure at the center of the narrative. Instead of that, all characters are kind of, flawed, and sometimes they survive just because of luck. Other times they survive just because other people died first. So there is no one quality, one aspect that allow us to separate them from people who died. And the fact that they are just ordinary people, they are just like us.
도착했습니다.
That aspect make this show quite relatable to so many people all around the world.
And this protagonist, he was laid off from an auto factory, right? I mean, that was a real event that people in South Korea know, but people around the world know this reality.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Gi-hoon turns out to be layoff. Many Korean viewers may be reminded of the 2009 Ssangyong Motors labor strike, which was one of the fiercest and most tragic worker struggles in the recent past. So the memories of these, riot policies, brutal combat-style suppression on workers are still very fresh to many Koreans. And as a direct result of the mass layoffs, and also due to the continuous intimidation by the company and the state, more than 30 workers and family members actually died.
In that event.
Some committed suicide, and while others died of the trauma. That memory is continuously stirred up in TV dramas and movies. That's why many Korean viewers are very much impressed by films like Parasite and the Squid Game.
And can I ask you, what do you make of the children's games in the show? I've read that the director wants to make it easy for viewers around the world to understand what's going on. Do you think that works to draw us in, kids' games?
Yeah, I think so. First of all, I think children's games make the show very much participatory, as the characters choose buttons, numbers, shapes, partners. The viewers also make their own choices along with the characters, and in so doing, they are also triggered to be, curious about the consequences of their decisions. In many other survival game dramas, the viewers largely remain passive spectators of the protagonist's, spectacular actions, or the passive consumers of unexpected extremes or shock effect. But in Squid Game, the viewers are repeatedly invited to join the decision-making process. Characters are placed at a crossroads, and so are the viewers.
Professor Shin, last question on South Korean media. I mean, South Korean media companies have exploded in global popularity in recent years. Parasite got the Best Picture Oscar. K-pop, K-dramas everywhere. how are these international success stories playing in South Korea, suddenly as a capital of the creative arts industry?
I want to give you one story. I think the director of the show, Hwang Dong-hyuk, tried to produce this show 10 years ago, but he couldn't find any producer who wanted to invest in this show. And so it took him 10 years to find a contract with Netflix. That tells a lot about the change in the media industry in South Korea over the past decade or so. The traditional, mainstream media is still quite limited in South Korea, but many talented artists and filmmakers have found good opportunities in global platforms like Netflix to test their products, to examine their ability to communicate with people all around the world.
That is Sung-Hwan Shin, professor of Korean film and media at the University of Pittsburgh. Professor Shin, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And you're listening to Here and Now.